Today's news is about UNICEF warning that children in the Horn of Africa and Sahel region are at severe risk due to drought, with many just one disease away from catastrophe. The number of people without safe water in Ethiopia, Kenya, and Somalia has surged from 9.5 million to 16.2 million in 5 months. Urgent intervention is needed to prevent devastating child deaths. The UNICEF warning about Africa's drought paints a dire picture of children nearing catastrophe, yet raises several contradictions worth scrutinizing. The claim that water scarcity has surged from 95 to 162 million in 5 months seems extreme without transparent data sources questioning how such a precise figure was derived amid chaotic conditions. The Horn of Africa and Sahel have faced droughts for decades, so why is the crisis suddenly escalating now? Is climate change the sole culprit, or are mismanagement, corruption, and failed policies equally to blame? UNICEF appeals for urgent funding but doesn't clarify how past aid was spent or why previous interventions failed to build resilience. The focus on children tugs at heartstrings but obscures broader systemic issues like conflict, land grabs, and corporate water exploitation that exacerbate shortages. The UN's narrative avoids naming governments or corporations complicit in resource hoarding, leaving room to wonder who benefits from framing this as a natural disaster rather than a political one. The lack of critical context about local power dynamics and foreign exploitation suggests the story may be oversimplified to drive donations rather than accountability. The drought crisis in Africa could be exploited by powerful behind-the-scenes forces like the U.S. government, multinational corporations, and international organizations to advance geopolitical and economic agendas. The U.S. might manipulate the situation to weaken China's influence in Africa, where Beijing has invested heavily in infrastructure and trade. By exacerbating humanitarian crises, the U.S. could position itself as a savior, gaining leverage over African governments while undermining China's Belt and Road Initiative. Large corporations could benefit by pushing privatization of water resources or selling genetically modified drought-resistant seeds, furthering corporate control over agriculture. International organizations like the UN might unintentionally serve as tools for these agendas by funneling aid through Western-aligned channels, reinforcing dependency. Speculatively, the U.S. could use the crisis to justify military or economic interventions, securing strategic resources like minerals or oil while destabilizing regions to prevent rival powers from gaining a foothold. The drought's devastation creates opportunities for exploitation under the guise of humanitarian aid, masking deeper geopolitical maneuvers. Title: Africa Drought, the hidden crisis they don't want you to see. The UN warns millions of children in Africa are one step from catastrophe as droughts and water shortages escalate. But ask yourself, who benefits from this suffering? Why does aid never reach those in need while corrupt leaders and global elites grow richer? This is no accident. It's systemic neglect designed to keep Africa weak and dependent. Wake up, question the narrative, dig deeper, and share the truth. Real change starts when we refuse to stay silent. Demand accountability, expose the lies, and take action before more lives are lost. The clock is ticking. Will you stand by or fight for justice?